When you think of cowls, what season do you think of wearing them in? Fall or winter? I'd say that's pretty common, but I'm here to tell you if you're not wearing your cowls all spring long, you're missing out. Hello, and welcome to Blah Blah Black Sheep, a weekly yarny podcast where I, Sarah Korth of SEK Handmade, talk all things yarny, and today we're talking wearing your cowls all spring long. Today we're going to be talking about why cowls are so great to wear during the spring, what kind of cowl you should be making if you want to wear it in springtime. I'm going to share with you several patterns that are made in different yarn weights and for different skill levels. And then I'm going to give you some styling suggestions so that you not only have a great cowl to wear, but you also have some inspiration of how to wear it this spring. So why are cowls such a great spring accessory? I know that when most people think of a cowl, they think of a really heavy cowl that they can snuggle up in the winter when the wind is blowing outside and you just need like as little of your body to be showing as possible. But there are also lots of really great cowls in a variety of fabrics that are perfect for adding just a little layer around your neck for when it's chilly in the spring. I also love cowls because they're more versatile to wear than people think. You can easily dress them up and dress them down. Don't worry, I'm going to give you examples of that at the end of the video. And they're super easy to throw on over your head and they always just stay put. If you're going to wear your cowl all spring long, you do need to be a little thoughtful about what type of cowl you make. While you might be thinking, okay, fingering weight cowls would be perfect for spring, but I don't do fingering weight yarn. I don't think a lighter weight yarn is the only thing you have to be aware of when making a spring cowl. In fact, later in the video, I'm going to show you a few cowls that I would suggest as spring cowls, and they run the gambit of yarn weights. So what are we going to look for when we're trying to make a spring cowl if it's not yarn weight? I think fabric and texture have a lot to do with if a cowl is going to be appropriate to wear in slightly warmer weather. As far as texture goes, I think you can have some really great texture in a spring cowl. However, you want to make sure that the texture isn't as dense as you might want it to be in a winter cowl where you're looking to stay super warm and cozy. So great texture is still an option, but mixing it up with some more open stitches can really help give you a fabric that is open and breathable, lightweight, and really nice to wear, even as the temperature starts to warm up in the spring. I don't know about you, but I also tend to shift my colors a little bit depending on the season. Fall, I tend to go a little more deep and moody colors. Spring, I tend to lean more towards really bright and bold colors. It just shifts with my mood throughout the year. So when you're making a spring cowl, I think you also want to think about your spring wardrobe and what would be a great fit to go with things you already love to wear in the spring. So if you're a pastel-y person in the spring, having a nice fun textured, lightweight, open fabric cowl in pastel colors would be a great addition to your spring wardrobe. Another thing to consider when making a cowl for spring is what you typically wear. You can absolutely dress up and dress down cowls of all sorts of styles, but if you're a person who tends to lean more casual, maybe you work from home or you're a mom with little kids running around, you may want to lean the style of your cowl to slightly more casual so that you can get more wear out of it. However, if you're a person who works a professional job where you dress up every day, a more formal, lacy kind of cowl might be perfect for you. I think thinking about the majority of your wardrobe and matching your cowl with that will help you get the most wear out of it. And I am here to encourage you to wear your makes. Another great thing to consider would be some popular color trends. You know that these shift every season, and you may be able to refresh your wardrobe with a more trendy color trend just by making a cowl in a real it color of the season. And then you don't have to refresh your whole wardrobe. You can just add this fun kind of trendy piece and really give an update to some of your pieces that you've had in your wardrobe for a long time and that you really love. However, if you know me, you know I am not a color trend person. I have my colors that I love. They make me happy. They are always bold, and I've just decided that's what I'm gonna wear. So certainly do not feel like you have to go with the color trends. Wear what makes you happy. Because again, if it makes you happy, you're gonna wear it more, and that's the goal. Next, I'm gonna share with you 5 patterns that I think are perfect cowls for spring. And just to prove to you that you do not have to make it in fingering weight yarn, we're gonna go from heaviest yarn weight to lightest yarn weight. The first cowl that I'm gonna suggest for you to make is the Delilah cowl. You may look at that and think that that's beyond your skill range, but the truth is this is a super simple cowl that is so meditative and relaxing to make. It uses worsted weight yarn, and it uses almost any amount of worsted weight yarn. It's worked in a Mobius strip, which means that you're gonna work a couple rows that might be a little bit challenging. Like go off to a little corner with your coffee or your tea, put your earbuds in to silence out any other noises, and then work these first couple rows. There are video and photo tutorials in this pattern though, so you're not like just figuring it out on your own. I'm here to help. Once you get past those first couple rows though, the way a Mobius strip works is that you work both sides of the cowl at once, so you're growing it in both directions. It's not joined rows. You just go around and around and around and around and around until you run out of yarn. It's fantastic. The cowl is also made with a variation on a half double crochet that's easy to learn, and again, video tutorials available. I have a really large version of this cowl that I love to wrap up in the winter, but my smaller version of the cowl is absolutely perfect for spring. It just adds a little interest to my outfit, a little warmth around my neck, and it's lightweight enough and stays away from my neck enough that it's comfortable even when the weather gets a little warmer. The second cowl I'm going to recommend is my icicle cowl. This combines a few maybe adventurous beginner stitches. You've got some post stitches in there which are fun to learn. You've got some spike stitches in there which are fun to learn. We're adding some spaces for you to work into, and it is also made of worsted weight yarn. Whether you're a beginner looking to add a couple new skills to your tool belt, tutorials included, or you're maybe a more advanced crocheter who wants something with a little texture, loves stripes, or even has some scraps of yarn that you'd like to use up, this is the perfect pattern for it. While this is made of worsted weight yarn, you can see it's a super drapey, scrunchy cowl, so it's not going to stand up around your neck and keep you too warm. I made my cowl in 3 colors, but you could certainly make it in lots of colors. Check out the projects on the pattern page on Ravelry. If I'm remembering correctly, one of my testers made a rainbow version and it was amazing. Next up, I want to suggest the Olivia cowl. You guys, I've had this one tucked away in my closet and had kind of forgotten about it, but when I started looking for perfect cowls for spring, this one I just knew was excellent. This was one of my mystery crochet alongs a couple years ago, and so it has a really kind of unique construction, but it's totally beginner friendly. Some really nice textured stitches. It's made in a DK weight yarn, so still very beginner friendly weight of yarn, but a little lighter weight than a worsted weight. I made all of my Olivia cowls in a wool blend, which I firmly believe that wool is a year-round fiber, but I've been noticing a lot of really nice cotton wool blends, and I bet this would be amazing for spring, worked up in a cotton wool blend. I'm going to show you a full outfit inspiration for this in a little bit, but this also has lots of great ways to wear it that can look more casual and more dressy. So it could really be a great staple in your wardrobe all spring long. My fourth suggestion is my Arlet Light cowl. I do have an Arlet cowl and an Arlet Light. The Arlet Light cowl is made out of fingering weight yarn, and this sample in particular was done with a gradient yarn, and the alternating rows are worked from opposite ends of the same ball of yarn, so you've got contrast between those rows. If you don't have a gradient ball of yarn though, that's totally okay. I made it in a bunch of mini skeins. It was a lot of fun. I picked the order just randomly. I threw them in a bag and pulled them out, and whatever came out, that's what I worked next. I had testers do it in 2 skeins of fingering weight yarn, and I think you could absolutely totally get some great texture and a much more subtle look doing it just in a skein of fingering weight yarn that was a variegated or even like a semi-solid. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that this would be a great first fingering weight project for those who have not worked with fingering weight yarn before. Again, once you get into the rhythm with this, it's a pretty easy cowl to work up, and I think you'd really enjoy trying. My last cowl I'm gonna share with you is a real showstopper. This is my Lumi cowl. It is a spin-off of my Lumi shawl. I have been told over and over again that this gorgeous lace pattern is really fun to work up. Whether you're a more advanced crocheter or somebody who just really likes a good challenge, I think you could totally do this cowl. It's worked up using 2 strands of fingering weight yarn held together. So I think you could easily exchange that out for a single strand of DK weight yarn. If you choose to do that, would you share a picture with me? Because I would love to see it. If you see me in a cowl in the spring, I'm gonna be honest with you, you're probably gonna see me in my Lumi cowl. It sits close by all the time and I wear it constantly. I dress it both up and down, even though it's a lacy fabric, and it keeps me warm on chilly mornings, but I also feel comfortable wearing it out and about with maybe a short sleeve shirt on a sunny afternoon. All right, we've talked about why you should wear cowls in the spring, what you need to think of when you're picking a pattern. I've shared with you 5 great spring cowl patterns. Last, I want to show you how to style your cowls so that you can get the most wear out of them. I'm going to show you 5 outfits with my 5 cowls. Some of them are going to be super casual, and we're going all the way to really dressy.
For my first outfit, I'm going super casual, definitely a day around the house kind of outfit with a t-shirt and leggings and dressing it up a little bit with a cute cardigan and some cute earrings. I'm going to wear my Arlet Light cowl for this look. And then I'm going to put a shawl cuff around it. I love to do this in the spring because it keeps the shawl away from my neck a little bit so it's cozy but not too warm. For my second look, this would be great for casual working in the garden or even going to a farmer's market. I'm going to wear my Delilah cowl. I love this cowl because it's so easy to wear. You just throw it over your head and you've got that little twist that can be worn in the front or on the side or even all the way in the back. It's just a really versatile cowl and I love how it shows off hand-dyed yarn, super cute stitch, and a really great casual look. For my third outfit, I'm actually going to put jeans on, so this is maybe a running around town outfit. I've got a little cardigan, my favorite striped t-shirt, and some jeans. Then I'm throwing on some casual tennies, these super cute earrings that I got on a trip with my dad, and then I'm going to wear my icicle cowl. I love this because it's a nice drapey cowl with a super fun texture. I'm going to throw on a shawl cuff again and leave it in the front so it looks a little bit like a bow. For my next outfit, we're going a little more dressy with a white denim jacket and a dress. I'm going to roll up those sleeves and wear these super cute floral earrings that I love. And then I'm going to throw on my Olivia cowl. If you just throw it over your head and leave it right side up, it shows off the lace really nicely, but you can also kind of fold the cowl in half, then flip it upside down, throw it over your head, fold that lace down, and it really shows off the point and the lace of this cowl. I really love it when it's worn this way. My last outfit, we're going super dressy for me. I've got a kind of suit jacket and a dress, some really cute shoes that you could trade out for like some black heels if you wanted to go really fancy. I've got some super cute earrings, and then I'm going to wear my Lumi cowl. I'm just going to put this over my head, and then this is another one that I love to fold the top down because that contrast of those colors really shows off the rippled edge.
All right, let's talk about what I'm wearing today. I've snuck in a 6th cowl here because I'm wearing my Nolan cowl. This is another great cowl that I would wear all spring too. I'm also wearing these gorgeous floral earrings. These are by Anna Style Store. They're actual pressed flowers and they're just so pretty. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you get more wear out of your cowls and that you wear them all spring long. I'll see you back here next week. Happy crafting!